Hi, my name is Corey Thomas, and today I'd like to talk to you about the effects of the polio epidemic. I'd like to begin talking about the story of Karen Chase. Karen Chase was a normal girl. She had a family, and she attended 5th grade before it all happened. One day, whenever she was walking home from school, she began to have leg pains. Soon after, she had to tell her mother that she could no longer attend school because of the pain. Then, after months of the pain getting worse, she had to attend the hospital in the ward of Grassland Hospital in Westchester County. And then, in that same time period, in the year of 1954, she heard on the radio, along with many other kids, of a doctor named Jonas Salk who invented the vaccine. Even though it had came late for Karen and the other kids, she was still grateful to have the vaccine. And then finally, after years of braces, wheelchairs, and even full-length body cast, she returned to the 9th grade. Then, years passed. The virus that had soon afflicted her became a distant memory. You can see her entire story at thehistoryofvaccines.org. The polio epidemic was a tragedy and left many lives permanently changed and affected. Today I'd like to talk to you about what is polio, how the virus impacts people, and how the treatments impacted survivors. Polio is a debilitating disease, and according to the CDC website, the virus causes paralysis, and those who do not have paralysis are not really considered having polio. Paresthesia, which is sharp pain in the legs, and some people have even described it as being sharp pins and needles in their legs. And there's meningitis, which is an infection affecting the spinal cord and or the brain. And then paralysis, which affects the movement of your body and limbs. Paralysis is one of the most lethal because it can affect the muscles that help us breathe, which can then lead to death. Polio has affected many people and lives. Now, how has the virus affected people? According to Better Health, people with polio can suffer at the after effects like weakened muscles, breathing, and paralysis can cause decreased muscle mass and weakened endurance. And one of the famous pictographs of King Tut has now also led historians to believe that King Tutankhamun also had polio. And our own President Franklin D. Roosevelt also had suffered from polio. Now, while all of these people have suffered from polio, there are also many who suffer from the treatments of polio. Treatments that help people after suffering poliomyelitis have an affected and changed life. And, as Marshal Barr story from the National Center of Biotechnology, even after the effects of polio, he still had to use the iron lung. He felt as if he was burdening his parents by having to always be stuck in the machine. The iron lung was a way to keep people who were paralyzed able to live and maintain some normalcy within their lives. While it did help them live, it still continued to be an effect on their lives because it kept them from joining the rest of their families. And some of them even had to continue being within the contraption for the rest of their lives. So, with what is polio, how polio affects people, and the treatments of polio, the polio epidemic has left many lives changed. And, as our president once said, once you spent 2 years trying to wiggle one toe, it puts everything else into perspective, said by Franklin D. Roosevelt. You can see all of the sources that I have used in the link below. Thank you.